Alright, here we go. Remember this pin fell out a few weeks ago and I just been kind of making do with it till I could get some time. Well, apparently this one broke loose from just being supported by the two, and I was driving to a yard and it fell out while I'm driving. So when I lower the gate, it's only being held on by this one, and it like jumps off the track a little bit and it slides out, so it goes boom, and I'm like, oh, what the hell, right? So I have to lift it back up on here, which this thing's not that light, and get it in here and then go put a screwdriver into that one, get my stuff off, cut the grass, all that, make do with it, right? So here's what we ended up doing. The first things first, we went ahead and replaced all 3 pins. And you'll notice, if you look right here, it looks like a screwdriver. Well, you know what this is? I was going to put a piece of rebar, but this is a lug wrench. It's like the thing you'd break the tire off with. It was the perfect size. It was a better fit, a tighter fit than a piece of rebar. And it's strong. They're strong, you know, a lug wrench is strong, right? So welded those suckers in there. And here's the other problem. The wood was rotting back in here. All this was rotting out. So it had to be fixed because I was going to fall through the dang thing. This is on here permanently. It's like permanently welded on here. My old one was a piece of angle iron, and it was bolted on, like 4 bolts, 6 bolts or something. And you could unscrew it, pull it off, and then you could just slide your boards in and out, you know. Real easy. Well, this is on here permanently, so what we had to do was we figured it out. We cut these boards off right here, the rotten part. Luckily this is all still good. Cut them off, cut it loose. There wasn't any screws or anything holding it down. Take it off. Now where we cut it was, you can see right through here, there's the piece of the angle iron right there. So we cut it so where this was all the way still on the piece of angle iron. We figured we'd just screw it down. Then we could slide in new boards like this, but what would it attach to underneath, right? So we had to get another piece of angle iron and weld it up on here and bolt it down like that. So it goes all the way across. So now I got 2 pieces. Crazy, huh? It's not an easy job. Took a little bit of time and effort. I mean, I didn't do any of the welding or the super hard stuff. You know me, I'm not that good. But yeah, so it's been reinforced. That's how you do it. That's what's going down there. There's Pooper. Oh, I forgot something. Also, from it leaning down, from the pin missing, and just from over the years to wear and tear, it moves a little bit when you're driving, it bumps. It bashed itself like back. It made like a big area here. It wore it off. And it also started wearing the where am I at here? The pin loose. So we had to fill that in. He did with the dripping, I guess, metal in there, and the same way here. So we had to build that back. You know, this is it's a lot better now. It's a lot tighter, which is good, so it won't rattle as much. You won't hear me coming. You know, my old trailer had a totally different system on it, and I liked it better. We had to do this one too. It was wearing loose. 3 years and it wore loose like that. That's ridiculous. Everything's falling apart. It's always something, dude. You got to keep your vehicle running. You got to maintain it, keep it going. You got to keep your trailer going, and you got to keep all your equipment going. You're constantly doing stuff. There's more to it than just cutting the grass. You got to keep this stuff going. All right, check this out, freaks. This falls in line with you got to do what you got to do. First of all, I just did this one with the big mower. Their car is parked here. I can only fit a small mower through here. I usually do this one with the big mower. can't fit it through. The back gate, can't fit it through. Over here with the tree, can't fit it through. So, some people would go up and knock on the door, but I know their schedule. She's most likely sleeping right now, so I would not do that. And I'm not going to leave either and come back when the car's not here or throw a fit about it. You got to tough it out sometimes. You got to do what you got to do. It's not going to kill you to push mow some big yards and some tall stuff every once in a while, you know? I mean, I've done thousands of yards worse than this with a small mower. All right, here we go. So the first thing you will notice is that I am going to be cutting this in a weird pattern. That's because I was trying to film. So we're going to do this little section and then move on and do it in blocks. The next thing you will notice is that it's not cutting the tops off of every one of those clover shoots. Well, that is because I raised it up. Since I'm having to push mow it, well, it is a self-propelled, so that's a bonus. But since I'm using the small mower, I went ahead and raised it up to make it easier on myself to get myself out of this situation that I'm in. Since you do get thrown a lot of curveballs in the lawn care business, and that's no exaggeration, a lot of them come your way, you really get good at adjusting to problems on the fly. Now, I wouldn't call this a problem. This is something very minor. It happens all the time. I've had people, I've taken care of their yard for years, and you pull up one day and they have a boat that's going to be permanently parked and stored in their driveway all the way at the end, blocking the big gate. And you can never get in with a big mower. Now that's a problem, okay? I didn't go up and make a big deal of it and have her move the car for a couple of reasons. One, it rarely happens, maybe once a year on this yard. Two, I know her schedule and she's still resting so that she can have a full evening shift and be fresh and, revived from her rest. It's bad enough that I'm out here making noise in the yard as it is. But if I also went up and banged on the door and had her get up, come out, move her car back and go back to bed, she might not be able to fall back asleep. So I'll just tough it out this time. Now, with that being said, some of you are still saying, but dude, I'm maxed out on time. I don't have any room for error. This is going to add more time to my schedule. And you're correct. It really is going to add another 15 minutes probably. Luckily, I always have that little bit of wiggle room, or I just stay out longer than normal. So I could do that and not stress too much about it. But there are days where even 15 minutes extra is going to put me in panic mode. So that's what we need to focus on, is how not to go full tilt and let it ruin your whole day or your life. One of the first things you need to do is kind of slow your roll if you start to feel the panic set in. Take some deep breaths, inhale, exhale, get your mower, push it up slower than normal. Don't go sprinting to the backyard with it. And then go ahead and start it and just start making a pattern that you like, doing your thing. And then as you get on some little runway strip here where you have some straight lines and then you're walking down, think to yourself about, wow, I'm lucky that I have this lawn, that I'm able to make this money right now. Think about how good it is that this is your own business. It's your own job. Look at it that way. Be proud that even though it might be a small part-time thing that you have, it's still yours. These are your customers that want you to work for them. And that's pretty cool. I mean, most people are working for a company that they hate. You're working for yourself. So don't be mad at yourself. Now, one of the other things you can do is listen to something that's going to calm you down. Now, most of you do listen to music or podcasts, maybe some self-help books. All that can be very beneficial. And I do listen to a lot of rock and roll and heavy metal, but I like to use that for motivation to get me fired up. So if I'm going to go work out or go for a long bike ride, stuff like that, heavy metal, pump me up. Rock you like a hurricane, okay? But right in this situation where I could easily go over the edge, worrying and stressing about how long this is taking, I'm going to choose to put on something It doesn't have to be super mellow, but it doesn't have to be like triggering of anything. I don't want to hear like rah 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 and ah rah, life sucks. That's it doesn't have to be peace and love either. It just has to not add to the stress that I feel brewing. I also try and remind myself that I love to work outdoors, and many people wish they could do the same, but they are trapped in an office or maybe a warehouse, and they can't wait to get out of their job so they can finally get some fresh air. Your air might be hot, you might be sweaty and tired, heck, it might be raining on you, but you're outside. Okay, a few of you wanted to see what the ugly yard looks like now. Well, it's right next door to the field I do over there every other week. It's on opposite weeks. This is every week. Every other week. But they're on opposites, but that's okay because next week I have a reason to be here. I'll do this one and the field. Following week, that one and the ugly yard. If they only knew they were called the ugly yard. Let's see what's going on back there. Nice and pretty. But look, the ugly yard's looking not so ugly, huh? This is a no frills cut. I don't play around. I don't give them any extras. They're not paying for any extra. But I did, check this out, I did spray all this stuff. Because, you know, that's window busting work right there. You go trimming through this too much, you're going to be flinging rocks. So yeah, remember how brutal that looked? A little bit better. Okay, now it's time to get out my 21 inch. And at this, I'm gonna go across the street here and cut that field where those kids are playing. I was charging by like, you know, 15